Welcome to the Ecom Logistics Podcast, your go-to for e-commerce logistics insights, trends, successes, and lessons from the leaders and innovators in our space. If you can tell us a little bit about your journey so far and tell the audience about Relay as well.
So just a bit of background about how everything came about at Relay. My co-founder and I spent the last 10 years in logistics, and 6 of those were building out Stuart Delivery. I was the second person on the ground at Stuart, first salesperson on the ground, and saw that through from 0 to 400 million in revenue and profitable in under 5 years, which was an incredible journey to be on, mainly because of all the learnings that we were able to make on how to manage an on-demand fleet at scale. So towards the end of the 5 years, we had about 25,000 weekly active couriers on the platform in the UK alone, operated in over 40 cities across the UK, and powered millions of deliveries a week. We really went deep into understanding how to operate that hyper-local on-demand delivery capability. So collecting hyper-locally from a store, a grocer, a retailer, and then delivering within a perimeter from that store. Now, the beauty was that just a year and a half into our operations, we were then acquired by Geopost, which is the French post office, which essentially helped us be a sister company to DPD. And DPD is a big logistics provider here in the UK, more on the premium segment. That helped us to really understand the new world of the hyperlocal on-demand delivery with the new mobility technology that was coming to arise with the likes of Deliveroo and Uber over the last 5-7 years, and as well being able to gain insights into how the incumbents are powering the 1 to 5 day delivery realm. And we realized that none of the two models by themselves were actually built or purpose-built for e-commerce. So if we take a step back, we were like, okay, turning to Asia, where these guys are doing over 120 billion parcels a year, what are they doing different than what we're used to seeing in the Western world? And it all boils down to the Western world having built these networks pre-internet. And pre-internet, we were restocking retailer stores. You weren't actually purpose-built to deliver to millions of households. So now when we're in this Ecom era, there's something that we need to change in the way that we rewire that parcel journey from the way we collect from the retailer's warehouse all the way to getting it into the end customer's hands. The way we do it at Relay is that we essentially turn the last mile that we know of today, which is actually the last 10 miles, into the last 100 meters. And the only way we're able to do that is by using these so-called pit stops in our network. What a pit stop is essentially a hyper-local handover point, which acts as an outbound post. So really replacing the notion of hundreds of depots that you need across the country to just thousands of pit stops that act as that last finger close to the end customer to enable a completely different fleet of couriers that we can utilize on the last mile. Because we're so close to the end customer, all of a sudden you can use bikers, mopeds, in the future walkers, and you're not constrained due to the distance from the end customer to the depot to having to use cars or vans as the mode of transport to deliver. So that has really changed the way we think about delivery.
That is really well put, and there is so much to dig into that journey. I'll give it from my experience standpoint. I was recently in India, and one of the experiences I had was anything I wanted. Quick commerce being like, I need something in 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Just the general network itself, and it comes with economies of scale. And if you look at it in North American market, we have not seen as big a success from a SKU depth, density, what's available. Versus in India, I can tell you literally anything I wanted, I could use an app and get something within a 10-minute model, and that comes with that density. But also, to the point you're driving, is it's purpose-built networks rather than utilizing existing available infrastructure. That conversation about the existing available infrastructure is also applicable as e-commerce grew. From a North American perspective, I know UK is kind of similar as well. The initial attempts and a lot of continued attempts where we called it omni-channel or whatever, even the logistics distribution centers were designed for retail distribution, B2B distribution, and now they have to do e-commerce. And the attempt was, let's just reconfigure what we have rather than doing it purpose-built. Again, now I think on the physical infrastructure side, that has happened and it's going through an evolution. But what you bring up is a very intriguing point about getting closer and making the change within the network or developing a new network to address the new needs that we have.
Exactly.
Thanks for listening to the Ecom Logistics podcast. If this episode brought you value, share it with your network and leave us a review. It really helps others discover the show and join in these conversations. And if your team is planning an event in 2025, consider partnering with Ecom Logistics podcast. We're always looking for meaningful opportunities to elevate conversations shaping logistics and e-commerce. Until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and keep leading the way forward.